Welcome back to the Davy Brown 990 Restoration channel. Those of you new, my name's Barry. Last time when we were on this, doing the oils, the hydraulic end of it, we had a couple of leaks, didn't we? One from underneath the filter pan at the bottom. I've done that. New gasket, sealed it back up. I've got to do, I'm going to put a couple of pints of oil in there the day and just see if that's sealed properly. Back of the rock shaft, haven't done that one yet. We will get to that next couple of days. Today we're going to take off this three-way valve. I'm going to take it home and we're going to reseal the bottom of the three-way valve because it's got a little drip on it and I just hate drips. There's no need for it to drip, but we're going to take it home and sort that out. Right, first things first, we need to disconnect the pipe that goes out to the auxiliary to the back, which is port 2, isn't it? That's port 1, this is port 2. So we need to disconnect that and we need to remove these 4 bolts. So, let's crack on. I must have had that one tight, mustn't I? Wouldn't care, there's no need for it to be that tight. So there. There's what pipe loose. Now, 4 9/16. We keep this on, and then, oops, it diddles. Oopsie diddles. I'll get that cleaned up before I go home. Otherwise I'll get wrong. Okay. 4 9/16, and there's an O-ring seals this onto the pipe. There's 2 O-rings actually, because there's one from the body in towards the cylinder. I'll get them just by spinning them. One, 2, 3. This isn't a mammoth task. Just split this open and then reseal, as you'll see. I wouldn't care, I was just asked last week by a viewer, did I have a video on the three-way valve, and I said no, and I totally forgot that I actually had this to reseal. So I'm going to message you and tell you that the video's there. Okay, now, so this should come off without too much trouble. That had a nice hold on that O-ring actually. It was really good. Now, what I want a little, obviously we'll just let that drain because it's going to just drop into that down there. Let's have a quick look at this. Yep, the O-ring's still attached to that. So your pipe goes in here, outlet pipe with the O-ring on, goes in there, and that had a lovely hold actually. You see where I've been in. This here, this is the bleed nipple that I was telling you about for the hydraulics. Okay, now let's just put a clean cloth over that there. Just to keep things crap from getting in. That'll just drain out. I'll put some blue paper on that tray just to catch that, and a bit on the side of the castings as well to catch it. Right, let's scoot off down home. Let's get this valve to bits and we'll put it right. Back in a minute. So today we're going to take this spool to bits. We're going to replace the O-rings in it again. I have already done this once, but unfortunately I did it the wrong way. I pulled the spool out the top, dismantled this, pulled the spool out the top, changed both O-rings, put it back in the top. By putting it back in the top, I probably shaved the effective diameter off the O-rings in here, especially this bottom one, as it's come down through the internals of this spool valve. The edges on this, the internals and the spool itself, are razor sharp and have to be, because it's the fact that they're razor sharp seals off the oil. If there's a slightest radius on these corners, it will not seal. So it does say, if you have problems with this spool with corrosion, the only thing you can use on it to try and clean it up is metal polish. You can't use emery, you can't use a Scotch pad, you can't use wet and dry paper, nothing abrasive. Those corners have to remain sharp. If they're not, you need to replace the spools. And I think you buy a matched insert. I think it's the same as the valve chest. You buy a matched insert to go in with your spool, and that's the only way you can get it to operate again. But we'll read the instructions, see what we've got to do properly this time. Three-way valve takeoff. To dismantle the valve, push the spool into its lowest position with the control lever, then remove the control lever. You remove the control lever by unscrewing the front cover, and the lever comes out sideways. Insert a large screwdriver into the cover and lever the spool down till the detent balls and the spool protrudes through the lower end of the body far enough to expose the spool lower O-rings. So you pop a screwdriver on the top of here, you squeeze it down till the lower O-ring pops out the bottom of the valve body, and by doing so it'll also push out this breather dust cap on the bottom. Right, remove O-rings from the spool, then remove the 3 cover screws and withdraw the spool. This is this one here. You take the top off at this time. So remove the O-ring, then remove the 3 cover screws, withdraw cover. Take care of the detent balls and springs in here that you don't go and lose them. Push the spool upwards out of the body and then remove the upper O-ring from the spool. So that's all you do, okay? Quite straightforward. But I didn't do that the last time, did I? I pulled my spool straight out the top, put 2 O-rings on, popped it back in, and probably shaved the effective diameter off as I pushed it through, which is why it's leaking now. David Monkhouse did tell us that I had done that, and that there was a big possibility that I had damaged that O-ring, and he was quite right. So we're going to take it to bits, we're going to do it the proper way, and hopefully we'll stop the leaks, don't we? Right, let's get into the garage, let's get this sorted out. It's a perfect day for it. Horrible, miserable, wet, windy, cold, just disgusting day. So it's a good day to do some shed work in it. Right, let's crack on. Let's get this valve opened up and resealed so we can hopefully stop the leaks. All we're going to do, pull the spool out, replace the bottom O-ring, top O-ring, put it back together. I might as well do both when we've got the spool out. First thing we're going to do is take out the operating handle, and this is 2 posi drive screws in there. See, this is what happens when you don't read the instructions, isn't it? You end up doing jobs twice, just for the fun of it. Okay, that's out. Before we pull that out, I want that down. Push the spool down as far as it will go. Then pull the lever out. It's just a little ball, not a big ball, captive in there. So, now, the instructions are, we put a screwdriver in there. I'm going to use crow's foot. Put a screwdriver in, push that down as far as we can so the detents, which are in here, 2 of them, one either side, release from the spool. Watch they don't come flying out of here. I wonder if I can get me little that end in. Nah, gonna have to be that end. Oh man, covered in grease already. Oh yeah, tinker, that's got a tight hole in it. Might just be because it's against the cap at the bottom. That's got a real good hole. I'm going to take out one of the detents. See if it makes life any easier. Get a little hook and we'll pull that out of there. One of the little springs. Is the ball going to come out with it? Don't think so. Right. Pop that O-ring out of there while we're busy. Bit of clean paper. Wipe my hands with. I think we're going to have to take the lid off next, because those detents do not want to release that spool. Only 3 screws in here. Three. Now, and if I'm not mistaken, I think that's what happened the last time, which is why I did it the way I did it. pardon there, catch the detent. That's it. There we go. One ball. The other one's still there. One ball. Two. And the other spring is there. Right. Okay, what we need to do now is first of all clean up just a quick check of that. That's why it's leaking. If you look at that, that O-ring does not protrude at all past that spool. So that's probably why it's leaking. Okay. So we need to got to knock that cap out of there. Need a big punch of some sort, don't we? Very carefully insert. This idea of putting the screwdriver in and pushing that down is supposed to use the bottom to punch the cap out, so that this piece just pops through the bottom of there, so you can get a hook in, get the O-ring off. As I say, does that one protrude? No, that one's flush and all. We might have to actually go and buy some O-rings, because I think these were out of the kit, out of that O-ring box. No big deal, is it, if we do? We'll just... Now, I tell you what, can we pop that back in there? I'm just wondering if we tap that with a soft hammer, can we knock that plug at the bottom? There we go. Now let's give this a really good wipe. Now that is also supposed to be in here a felt bung to stop the crap coming back up. Right. Deb's gonna kill us when she finds out what I've done with a good bath towel, isn't she? Bring that out this way. I can bring any crap with it. Because the last thing you want is that crap feeding back through your nice clean hydraulic system, isn't it? Right, so that wants a damn good wash. Yes, there's supposed to be a felt pad in the bottom here, and that's either just disintegrated or hasn't been put back the last time this was overhauled. Whoever overhauled it properly, not me, because I didn't do it properly, obviously. I tell you what, there's some pitting on there, isn't there? Having said that, this valve was seized, and it was seized at the top end. Okay. Now, have I got somewhere? I have, haven't I? What's this? Brake cleaner. Right. Okay. Have we got O-rings to fit? Or am I going to have to be buying some? They protrude, but not a lot. Not enough. Not enough. And I think that one would be too big. Yeah, that one's far too big. So look at my metric box. I think these ones are all too big. Oh God, far too bloody big. Okay, so I've come to the conclusion. We don't have a correct set of right. This sometimes happens with these events. For some reason, the GoPro camera stopped working. I didn't realise that till I've done the edits. So we're back in here doing a close down because the camera just decided not to bother working anymore. So we've wrapped everything up. We're putting, oh God, everything's in a bag wrapped up in there. the upshot of it is we don't have the correct size O-rings to put that back together tonight, and I also want a felt pad as well. So tomorrow morning, Monday morning, I'm going to ring Stuart. I'm going to order up the 2 O-rings if he's got them, and the felt pad if he's got that, and then we'll do another video putting it all back together. Right guys, sorry for the disappointment. I wish I could have gotten it finished tonight, but there again, if we had continued to reassemble it with the camera not working, we would have lost even more, wouldn't we? So, what we'll do, as soon as I get the parts, we'll put a video together, reassembling it. Stuart's pretty quick with postage, so probably by next weekend, we'll have the second part of this video out, sticking this back together. Right guys, as I say, as always, your time is greatly appreciated when you come visiting us tinkering in my garage. Andy, I hope you found this video useful. I know I said I wasn't going to do one, and then I must have had a blonde moment or something, but when you asked, I totally forgot that I had to strip and reseal this valve. But I've messaged you to tell you that this video is out, so hopefully it's helpful. Hopefully part 2 is helpful as well for you. Right, thanks very much guys. Remember, don't overthink it. It's only nuts and bolts and wicked technology. See you in the next one. Ta-da now.